Okay, so welcome to our presentation on who is the weakest link with me and Ariana. My name is Vanch, and this is our agenda. So we're going to start with introduction to social engineering, and then we're going to transition into types of social engineering, psychological principles behind attacks, and we're going to talk about a tool called Social Engineering Toolkit in Kali Linux. And then it's going to be real world case studies and then a video analysis and mitigation and defense strategies, and then conclusion and Q&A.
So today we're diving into social engineering as one of the most dangerous and effective hacking techniques because it exploits human psychology rather than technical vulnerabilities. We'll cover the different types of social engineering attacks, why they work, some world examples, how to defend against them, and by the end, you'll be more aware of these tactics and better equipped to protect yourself and the organization. So this is social engineering a threat? The human element is the Achilles heel of cybersecurity. Organizations spend millions on firewalls, antivirus software, and encryption, um, but none of that matters if an employee unknowingly gives an attacker their credentials. Some hard-hitting statistics. So phishing remains one of the number one cause of data breaches. The average cost of a data breach is nearly $5 million, and many of the biggest cybersecurity incidents in history involve some form of social engineering. So if an attacker gets into a system using social engineering, it can take months to detect the breach, leading to irreversible damage. So types of social engineering attacks. So we have phishing, pretexting, baiting, tailgating, and vishing. So phishing is sending a fraudulent email that appears legitimate to trick recipients into clicking malicious links or providing credentials. Pretexting is creating a fabricated scenario where the attackers impersonate someone in authority, such as IT professional or CEO. Baiting, leaving malware-infected USB drives or offering free downloads to entice users into compromising their security. Tailgating is gaining unauthorized physical access by following an authorized person into secure area. And vishing is using phone calls to impersonate someone trustworthy and trick people into revealing information. So each of these methods is surprisingly effective, and attackers are constantly refining their techniques to trick even the most cautious individuals. So first, we're going to go into phishing attacks. Phishing is by far the most common social engineering attack. Attackers send fraudulent emails that look real, tricking people into clicking malicious links or providing login credentials, like I said before. So there's different types of phishing. There's regular phishing, spear phishing, and whaling. So spear phishing is mass emails that impersonate banks, IT departments, or service providers. Spear phishing is highly targeted emails tailored for specific individuals, often using personal data from social media, and whaling attacks on high-level executives such as CEOs or CFOs, where attackers spoof official requests for wire transfers or confidential data. Um, a famous example was the 2016 DNC email attack, where attackers tricked officials into resetting their passwords through fake emails, exposing sensitive political data. Next, we have is pretexting. It's one of the most deceptive social engineering tactics. It involves crafting and convincing backstory to manipulate a victim into revealing confidential information. So, for example, an attacker might call an employee pretending to be from HR and ask for sensitive details like payroll information, social security numbers, or login credentials. This method works because people naturally trust authoritative figures. If the request sounds urgent or routine, they are less likely to question it. One of the most effective defenses against pretexting is to verify requests. So if you receive a request for sensitive information, always confirm the sender's identity before responding. So this is baiting and tailgating. So baiting is leaving infected SUVs in office parking lots labeled confidential to tempt employees. And another tailgating is unauthorized individuals follow employees into secured areas. An example is attacker pretends to carry heavy boxes and asks an employee to hold the door. So vishing. Vishing is or voice phishing is an attack where scammers use phone calls to manipulate victims into providing sensitive information. These calls often create a sense of urgency or authority to pressure victims into compliance. For example, an attacker might impersonate the IRS and claim that the victims owes taxes, demanding immediate payment under the threat of legal action. Another common tactic is pretending to be an IT support representative and convincing employees to provide login credentials. A famous example occurred in 2020 when Twitter employees were tricked into providing credentials over the phone, allowing attackers to take control of high-profile Twitter accounts. The best defense against phishing is skepticism. If you receive an urgent call requesting sensitive data, verify the caller's ID through official channels before taking any action. So now these are psychological principles. So there's authority, urgency, reciprocity, social proof, and scarcity. So understanding why social engineering works is just as important as understanding how it works. Attackers rely on psychological triggers to manipulate their targets into acting without thinking. So authority are people instinctively comply with figures of authority. So an example is an attacker impersonates a company executive and asks an employee for confidential data. Urgency is creating a sense of urgency. Urgency forces people to act quickly. An example is fake urgent emails, pressuring employees to reset their passwords. Reciprocity is if someone does something for us, we feel obligated to return the favor. So an example is when a scammer offers free software in exchange for login details. Social proof, people follow what others are doing, basically. So, sorry, an example is if an email claims 90% of your coworkers have already completed the survey, the recipient may feel compelled um, to do the same. Scarcity, when someone appears to be in short supply, people rush to get it. So an example would be fake emails offering limited time deals that require entering personal information.
All right, so now let's talk about how people actually are able to pull off these social engineering scams or phishing scandals. So one tool that we are able to use and test is the social engineering toolkit, and you could get this on Kali Linux and get it up and running. It's fairly simple to get it up and running. So this tool allows you to do many things, like cloning a website to harvest credentials. You can clone a website of that doesn't even belong to you, like Facebook. And this way you could trick people into sending you, as you as the middleman, sending you their credentials, and then you could redirect them to a whole different page without them even knowing. This tool is just amazing for doing something like this, and it keeps it simple for people that actually want to do it. I was able to use this in fall semester, last semester, by using it in a internship that I was working at, and I created a harvesting website, and this allowed me to use a HTML form request or a post request to get credentials, and I could log the credentials. I could do everything I need to do. Um, and it made it simple. I was able to give one of my colleagues the link through a email, and then through that email, they click the link, thinking it's just a regular login screen for this website that we created. And then they would use it, and then I would see what they typed in for the username and password. And then you would think like after that the gig is up. No, but that's not how it works. It actually redirected them back to the real website. So now they're able to look like, oh, well, maybe I didn't click submit or something. Maybe I didn't click login. and now they're to type it again and it works fine. They're not even aware of what happened. Now this is just it helps. Definitely does not help, but it allows students like myself to try and conduct some of these social engineering scams, of course, not real, but to test these out. And it's fairly easy with this toolkit. And some other features that you can do is you can do spear phishing, malicious documents, payload delivery, wireless attacks, USB attacks, templates, exploits. There's many things you could do. And it's fairly easy. You're muted.
Also, if you guys, because I know you guys are going to be watching our presentation through a video, and I'm also going to post the slides. So if you guys want to look at the link that we have, it's actually a Chrome website, and you could just click on it and see what it does. By all means, do that.
Awesome website. You should check it out. One catch about the social engineering toolkit is that it works only with local networks, or at least for the website cloner, only works with the local networks. So you're going to have to either get your colleagues with it, and that way you could send it. You could, since they're on the same IP, you can use it through email. Send your friend, colleague, coworker a email with the link, and they click on it. They put their user credentials, and there it is. And then you have their information.
So next we're going to talk about real world case studies. So first is the Twitter Bitcoin scam. I brought this up in the last slide. So basically attackers use phishing to manipulate Twitter employees into providing account credentials. Once inside, they hijacked high profile accounts, including Elon Musk and Bill Gates, to post fraudulent Bitcoin investment schemes. The Target data breach happened in 2013. Hackers tricked an HVAC vendor into revealing their credentials, which provided access to Target's payment systems, and the breach compromised 40 million credit card numbers. And the Google and Facebook invoice scam. Attackers impersonated a legitimate vendor and sent fake invoices to Google and Facebook, leading both companies to transfer over $100 million before realizing it was fraud. So, I mean, these three just basically show you how much money you lose from these types of attacks, and they're fairly simple attacks. People that they do, you could just tell, and it's losing so much money because of this. Um, so
And
I
sorry.
go for
Before
it.
we move on, if you could go back to the last slide,
Yeah,
there's another example that happened recently where these teenagers or somewhere in their 20s stole roughly like 240 million dollars worth of Bitcoin, and they used social engineering. They called, said, "Hey, like someone's like getting into your wallet. You got to move all your crypto around." And in doing so, the guy leaked his keys to his crypto, and they were able to just take everything. Of course, the people did get caught because they were going out buying luxury goods, spending
right.
a couple 100,000 at clubs, but they got what they needed and they did that. But the funny part is the guy that stole all the money, oh, there's a team, but one of the guys is kind of highlighted.
Yeah,
He didn't get prison time. What he got was 2 years of community service, to my knowledge, and he got a job at a cybersecurity firm on trying to help them with social engineering, like
that
and just helping that company, and he just became an employee. So maybe that's the better way to get an internship.
honestly, like that actually happens more often than not.
Yeah.
I know a teacher from my high school. His son actually hacked Apple when I was in high school, and actually they instead of putting him in prison, actually gave him a job.
Yeah.
So I mean, hey, you do things. I guess you get jobs out of it. I guess,
But
but
that is awesome to hack Apple. To say that on your resume, I'm sure
no,
someone would be like, okay, well, we'll take him. So,
yeah.
yeah.
So real world cases, guys. So I actually have a video. It's not that long. It just basically shows how easy these attacks are really, like how easy people can really get information. So take a look.
So I invited a few of the world's best hackers to try to hack me and show me where my vulnerabilities are. And now I'm going to meet them in Las Vegas for DEF CON, the biggest hacker convention of the year. They're going to hack me using social engineering, which is essentially hacking without any code. They just use a phone and an internet connection.
You want to do a sample phishing call?
What's phishing?
Phishing is voice solicitation. And basically, what you do is you use the phone to extract information or data points that can be used in a later attack.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Who are you gonna call?
Maybe I'll call your cell phone provider and
Okay.
see if I can get them to give me your email address.
I bet they're good. I bet they have my back. But yeah, go for it.
I'm gonna spoof from your number, so it's gonna look like it's calling from you.
Okay.
Hi, I'm so sorry. Can you hear me okay? My baby, I'm sorry. My husband's like, we're about to apply for a loan and we just had a baby and he's like, get this done by today. So I'm so sorry. I can't call you back. Log into our account for uses information and I can't remember what email address we used to log the account. The baby's crying and can you help me? Awesome.
In just 30
At
seconds,
gmail.com.
Jessica gets access to my personal email address.
Get to at our older daughter on our account so she could call in and make changes. How would I need to go about doing that? You would have to send me a secure PIN through a text message. Yeah. Well, the thing is, I don't think I'll be able to receive a text message if I'm on the phone. Oh, I'm not on there either. So I thought when we got married, he added me to the account.
Jess uses my girlfriend's name and a fake social security number
5127.
to set up her own personal access to my account.
Wait, I'm sorry. So there's no password on my account right now. Can I set that up?
She even gets the support person to change my password.
Thank you so much for your help today.
So she just basically blocked me out of my own account.
I'll get her fed after this. All right. Thank you.
Holy shit. So they just gave you access to my entire cell phone account.
You're gonna have to go on and change your password right now because it's Jess, my name.
And all it took was a crying baby and a phone call.
So basically, as you could see, that took probably what, 2 minutes? And she was able to get everything. She even changed his password and added herself onto the account. So there's just they didn't even code. There was no coding. There was nothing involved. It was just her voice and a crying baby. So it's just amazing how they can do these things. So.
Okay, so this is the second video that we have in our presentation. It's about more of a person that actually gets into an IT department and tries to impersonate someone that, like, as if he is an employee. So let's watch the video and we can discuss about it later.
What do you think of when I say the word hacker? Some creepy dude in a basement? Well, that's a misconception. What if I told you there's a class of hackers who don't just have social skills? They have more social intelligence than anyone you'll ever meet. David Kennedy is one of them. He's what's known as a social engineer or a people hacker. His craft is to dupe you into doing things and sharing information you probably shouldn't.
Can I just get your credit card number?
Some use it for illegal activity. In David's case, companies pay him to find out if employees are leaving the company vulnerable. He and his team show us how it's done. Step 1, spoof his number so it looks like he's calling from inside the company, and then call tech support.
Hello, you there? Hello?
Hi, it's Ken. How may I help you?
I was wondering if you can take a look at a website I'm trying to get to. It's for a big customer thing I'm working on for Monday, and I can't seem to get to the website from my computer.
Sure. What's the website? I'll see if I can get to it.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate the help. I mean, it could be a stupid thing. I'm really stuck with computers, but so it's www.survey. That's SURVEY -pro.com.
Yeah, I got a prompt to open. I just put open and I'm at the site now.
Here's what the IT guy doesn't realize. By clicking that link, he's just given David full access to his computer.
Whoa, okay, that's weird. I just hit it and it works. It seems like it's working fine now. Awesome. I don't know what you did, man, but I really appreciate the help.
Hey, no problem. That was easy.
That was it?
We're on this computer right now.
You were able to take over this guy's computer within, I would say, like under 2 minutes.
Under 2 minutes, yeah. Under 2 minutes, took over his entire computer. And think of it as not just his computer, but it's pretty much a downfall of the entire company.
In this case, the company was paying David to hack them and see if their employees would fall for it. They did. To show you this demo, we agreed not to use the company's name. Kennedy Hacks to Protect. He's part of a growing number of hackers using this skill for good. Josh Corman's one of them too. He started a group to help bridge the gap between hackers and big companies.
Hacking is a form of power. Not surprisingly, as you walked into my house and saw all the Spider-Man stuff, I'm a big fan of the Stan Lee line of with great power comes great responsibility. We're coming to a point where the outside world, with a breach a week, a breach a day, affecting people's personal lives and national security, we got to grow up a bit and we need to be very deliberate about how we use that power.
Corman formed the group after his mom passed away.
She was my science teacher. She kind of taught me that darkness is the absence of light. Cold is the absence of heat. You know, if you see something missing in the world, maybe it's our job to put it there. I think the world's going to be whatever we want it to be and whatever we make it. There are very, very bad people. Our values, our safety, if not us, then who?
Okay, I think I lagged out for a little while, but we're back. Um, so yeah, you could just this is a much more severe attack compared to the one before. I mean, the other one was severe as well, but this one you're getting full access to a computer. But
Mhm.
thankfully, these guys are ethical hackers, so they're not doing it for malicious intent. They're trying to make
Right.
sure a company is protected and aren't, vulnerable to attacks like this. I mean, Ariana, do you think that IT person, I mean, he's an IT person, you think he would be trained in something like this? But
Yeah, you think he would. I mean,
you,
he should have known, but
I
a
mean,
lot of companies nowadays don't really have their employees are not trained. That's why so I want to talk about awareness and I talk about how employees need to have awareness of like all this stuff. They need to understand what's going on, and especially IT support. Like you're like the first
exactly.
person that should know.
Yeah.
So
But then what if someone called you from a employee number and now you would think it's an employee. I mean, especially in
right.
larger companies, like you need to be in lockdown. You can't just be
Yeah.
picking up every phone call you get. There's gotta be some way to like have like a MFA, just multi-step authentication, where if someone calls you, maybe there's, I don't know, a secret word like pickles or something they have to say. Like you can't just
Yeah.
have just, oh,
Yeah.
someone called me, I'm gonna help them right away. I mean, I'm sure the IT person was trained in cybersecurity or
hmm
something, but
In some way.
yeah, in some way. But these attacks are getting more and more intricate and more
Yeah.
elaborate. So you just gotta be more aware and yeah, just be more willing to spend a little bit more money on that cybersecurity team. Make sure everyone's. I think I froze again, but I'm leaving this in the video. Okay.
So I'm going to talk about mitigation and defense strategies. So basically, defending against social engineering requires a combination of training, security measures, and verification protocols. So, awareness training teaches employees to recognize suspicious activities. MFA adds an extra layer of protection beyond just a password. Verification protocols ensure that sensitive requests are validated before acting upon, and simulated social engineering tests just help organizations assess vulnerabilities that they do have. So these are like one of the big four things organizations really need to do to stop those attacks. Even though they're so like the attacks are really not that hard to do, but like having these things in place, you'll be less susceptible to these attacks, like 100%.
Yeah, and here at Pace we have the Duo app
Yeah.
for every single time you log in.
I know it's
Very
annoying.
fun.
A lot of people hate it, but it's
I
actually
don't like it, but
so
some
easy.
people that actually have stuff to hide,
Yeah.
that sounds terrible, but some people that actually respect it love
Yeah.
it. So it's good. I actually do like it, even though it is annoying. It
It's
does keep everyone safe. I'm
yeah.
sure Pace gets not many, my account has been stolen,
Right.
like tickets. So that's
Yeah.
awesome.
I mean, Google also has one too. For your Gmail, they have a two-step authentication thing that they do.
Yeah.
They ask for your number and you can't even do that. They have your email. I mean, they do a lot of things. So,
Google is ruthless for Gmail.
yeah, it's
Ruthless.
ridiculous. And they make you actually accept stuff on your other app to make sure you're good. So, it's a
Yeah.
whole process, but all right, so we did a research paper analysis. So we found this paper, a study on psychological and social engineering based cyber attacks and existing countermeasures, published in 2012. So this review paper provides a scientific foundation for understanding how and why social engineering attacks work. It highlights the psychological tactics such as authority, urgency, and trust, and used to manipulate victims to compromise insecurity. So the basically it's just it shows the psychological principles like I talked about before. Like it's not just about, the code and all that. It's about like actually getting into the people's minds and stuff. So this is actually a great paper. I have a link to it. I'm gonna post it also to I'm gonna put it on our thing that you guys can look at. So if you want to read it, please, by all means. So conclusion. So all in all, the weakest link in cybersecurity is people. No matter what, no matter how advanced security systems become, human error remains the easiest way for attackers to infiltrate networks, steal data, and compromise entire organizations. Social engineering exploits human psychology like trust, urgency, fear, and curiosity to manipulate individuals into revealing sensitive information or granting any access. Cybercriminals understand that technology can be secured, but human behavior is predictable and exploitable, and human error is huge. Employees, customers, and even high-level executives can be deceived into clicking malicious links, handing over credentials, or bypassing security measures. Phishing, pretexting, baiting, tailgating, and vishing are all demonstrate how attackers manipulate people to achieve their goals. The only way to strengthen this weak link is through awareness, training, and vigilance. Organizations must educate employees on recognizing and resisting social tactics. Strong security policies, multi-factor authentication like the Google verification protocols like Duo can help, but ultimately cybersecurity is a shared responsibility. Without a proactive human defense, even the most secure systems remain vulnerable. So do the best you can. Like keep up with the cybersecurity, keep up with all that information, because that's the only way organizations are gonna be safe from any of these attacks. Launch, anything you have to say?
No, not really. Maybe yeah, just keep everyone safe. Don't make sure everyone's aware, especially the part-timers, the new
Yeah,
employees. Make sure they get
right.
their training and then yeah, I mean
Keep up, keep up with the
even sorry, yeah, even if you are like maybe the CISO or something, you're still vulnerable. Like you need to be on top of everything.
hmm
Don't click suspicious links. Don't click anything that looks even remotely suspicious. I mean, these days you could really get yourself in real trouble if you just click a link. I mean, I get random messages about tolls that I haven't paid
Right. Oh my
on
God,
top.
that's been a whole thing. That's been a whole issue.
Yeah,
If you pass it
I
to me,
swear,
oh yeah,
yeah, I swear everyone's getting them, and I'm sure people have got.
yeah,
Like
right,
imagine you're just a older person or just not aware, and you click the link. Now you're paying tolls on someone else's behalf or just giving them your credit card.
right.
I mean, there's so many things that are going on right now that people are just not aware of and that need to be educated on. And
Right.
what would you say the demographic of people that are subject to
I
social engineering is? Or
definitely teenagers.
teenagers, I
I
would say
think
older.
teenagers, because they don't think when they're on their
That's
phones and
true.
stuff, they don't think about what they're doing. Um,
That's true.
they'll click on anything just to get a quick buck. A lot of people just want to
Yeah.
make money. So
Yeah.
whatever they see, I think teenagers are, I mean, it might be old people too also because they're not aware of stuff, but I honestly think as a younger audience, I think
Yeah.
teenagers like in high school, middle school who would just get phones and they see all this new stuff and whatever, whatever.
I mean, yeah, that is, I mean, thankfully I haven't been got yet. So,
No,
I
me
mean,
too.
I would say my prediction would or analysis would be older people because they're just
Right.
not used to the technology that's out.
No, you're
Like they don't
right.
even think that this toll could be fake.
hmm
Like they just see the number, they see they have maybe they took a toll 4 years ago and they're like, oh, maybe it's that. And then they just pay it and then their
Right.
credit card's gone. And then of course there's technology now, like you can lock your credit card if you need to, you call your bank, get charged back. But
Right.
even that, like sometimes the banks find a loophole around that and then the bank's not helping you out. The
Mm,
guy has your money and they're running off with it.
Right.
So
So also use your credit cards. Don't use debit cards when you pay for stuff.
yeah,
That's also a really good tactic.
100%. For the
But
cashback as well.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's our presentation, guys. We have a Q&A. That was basically if we had it in person, but we're gonna be posting it on classes. He's gonna post it for you guys. So if you want to give us any questions that you have, like please comment on it. If you have anything to say, please let us know. And thanks for listening, guys.